So we have a gorgeous day today, and I figured I would take a look around the garden, see what's blooming, see what's dying, and yeah, just kind of make note of some progress. So we have quite a lot of nice growth over here. Um, haven't planted anything in this area yet, may not until fall or even next spring, but at least the plants that we got up next to the house last year are doing really well. There's some strawberry in there that's coming up nicely. This yarrow here is going to get moved because it's spreading way too fast. We don't want it to choke out the other plants. But we have poppies and daisies and lilies and all sorts of things. This peony that came with the house and was planted here when we moved in is bigger than we've ever seen it. Last year it kind of got crushed by water from the house, so we're hoping it gets a chance to bloom so we can finally know what it actually looks like. Despite getting some frost damage after originally being planted, our elderberries are starting to make some real leaves. This one has a bit less growth on it, but actually I'm just noticing towards the base there's a new shoot, so it gives us some hope that maybe next year we'll get a couple elderberries to try out. Our daffodils by the side of the house, at least some of them are blooming, but a lot of what's here is in really bad shape, so we're gonna probably take them out. Our fritillaries are dying back, but our ferns and hostas are starting to come up. So we've got a bit of a succession going on in this bed, so that we always have something nice growing up in it. The redbud is getting leaves now. The few blooms that were on it are starting to open up, which once again my camera won't focus on, but they're cute little things. I just did some edging, blew a whole bunch of green into this bed, but several of the blueberries that we were kind of concerned about have actually started to show signs of life. So this little thing here's got a leaf on it. It appeared like this chunk here was sending up a new shoot, and a lot of them are doing really well, particularly this big one over here that you can see. Our bunchberry, it's not the happiest. I think it gets a little bit too much sun in the afternoon and it's not established enough to handle that. But, hopefully it makes it. We have iris blooming, and in the case of this one, getting ready to make some flowers, which is just super exciting. I can't wait to see all the different colors that we have, because so many of these I just have no idea what they are. And it's going to be a bit like Christmas, finding out what's growing in there. Speaking of a bit like Christmas, so the Prairie Spy has a nice cluster of flowers on it that I will have to manually focus on. And they are gorgeous, but at the moment they are nothing compared to this, which is on our Honeygold. The king blossom on this cluster is getting ready to bloom. I am so excited the next couple of days to have my first apple blossoms ever. We did have a bit of a sad downturn. All of the nasturtiums have died, unfortunately. So we bought some, but I'm really disappointed. I really wanted those orchid cream nasturtiums to do well. Oh, just rip out this little bit of grass. The currants are doing nicely. They all have leaves in varying stages. So that's quite exciting. So many of these peonies have buds on them. It'll be absolutely amazing if they bloom. Speaking of amazing if they bloom, I did not see this previously, but here is a bloom possibly from one of my great-grandmother's daffodils that we planted under inauspicious conditions last year. I would be so excited if that was one and if it bloomed, but there's a chance, considering I planted one of the stainless daffodils from last year in here, that it is not. Our new roses are settling in quite well. All of them except for this one have visible new growth of great standing. This one is finally starting to get some new leaves. I think its first couple days were a little too warm, but you know, it's okay if it takes them a little time. We have lots of daffodils here and here, at least lots for us. It's really nice to have some of the blooms. I just cut some to give as a bouquet to a friend, which is the first time I've ever done that, and I can't wait to keep that up. Our roses are filling in nicely from last year, so hopefully we get some nice blooms on those. Our hosta / rhubarb bed has plenty of nice leafy growth coming in, and if all goes well, this may even be just an entire sea of green leaves this year. And speaking of a sea of green, the sedum here is spreading very happily, but so are the dandelions back there, so it'll be nice once we get mulch to fill in all of this bed. The daffodils are coming in nicely, so it looks like I pruned and cut down things at the right time last year. They're not as full as they were last year, but they look a lot healthier. So that is, I would consider that a success. So we've got stuff, we'll just walk by all this again. Our little Burgundian rose is finally starting to get some size on it, even though it's still just a mini little bush. The two honeyberries that I planted there are leafing out, and the Rosa canina over there is coming in nicely. The honeyberry is dead, unfortunately, but they are sending out a replacement. And I forget which one it is, but the honeyberry over there is doing pretty well. Worried about our lavender, but our mint finally is making some leaves that are rather obscured after my trimming, but you can see we have some green here, so we didn't lose our mint. The garlic, as always, is just spreading like crazy, so I'm really happy with that. All of our gooseberries are looking good, and we have some stalks of asparagus. I'm really worried that it's not growing super well, but I've been told it's a bit finicky that first year, so you know, worst case scenario, I plant a couple other varieties in there next year and have a small but diverse patch of asparagus. And the biggest thing at the moment is that we planted all of our grapes. They arrived, got them in the ground. I believe they are St. Croix and Bluebell, several Marquette, and then a Bluebell and a St. Croix bookending on that side, which will be quite nice once they are no longer just sticks, you know, like the rest of our garden. And one of the things I'm really excited about, let's see if I can get a good look. I probably shouldn't, but I do keep checking to see if our mushrooms are spreading. And it's a little, oh, here's a good one. So hopefully we can see that right in here, if it'll focus, those whiter spots are the little bits of mycelium starting to colonize all the wood chips. Now that our weather is warming up really well, these guys should be able to take over all of their wood chip mounds and eventually provide us with some King Stropharia mushrooms. And yeah, I guess that's about it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.